Let's hold our politicians' feet to the fire. That's what I'm here to do today. The top story the government doesn't want you talking about in 2014. That's next on Off the Grid. Welcome everybody to Off the Grid. You know, they've said I've been a little too wild on the first few shows, so I thought today I would impersonate Walter Cronkite. Alex, what have we got today on Off the Grid?
Our countdown continues, Jesse. Today, we offer our top 2 off-the-grid stories of the year. And in the number 2 spot, it's none other than Obamacare. Will it be the president's legacy or his folly? So what do you think, Jesse? Who do you think is to blame for Obamacare's failure right out of the gate?
Well, I'll tell you who's to blame for it. It's the lobbyists in the insurance industry, because had Obama done single-payer health care like Medicare, I don't think there'd be any of these problems right now that you're having. But he kowtowed to the insurance industry, which of course is one of the biggest bribers of our politicians. But my belief is very simple. Every United States citizen, if they're sick, should have the ability to go to a doctor. Now, how do we reach that is the key. That's what we have to determine, and they've come up with Obamacare. But ultimately, because of the payola and the bribery that goes on with the Democrats and Republicans, or Democrats and Republicans, you had them kowtow to the insurance industry to make sure that insurance still runs your health care. In fact, I'll give you a moment here as a brief example of what happened to me to show you this is before Obamacare. I had a bone spur in my right foot, and the specialist doctor told me he'd have to remove the spur in order for anything else to work. 5 minutes of ultrasound, it was gone, the bone spur. Well, guess what? My insurance company wouldn't pay for it. Number one, they said it was experimental. Number two, they listed 6 other things I should have done beforehand, much like kind of ordering the Happy Meal at McDonald's. At the end, they had the gall and audacity to write on the bottom of the letter, "Oh, and we're not telling you how to get your health care." Well, what ultimately happened? I had to pay it myself, because you're not going to go to court over a $600 bill, because your lawyers will cost you more than what you're going to recover. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. That's why I do support. And you know, when you talk government-run health care, well, excuse me, doesn't the military have government-run health care? Doesn't our congressmen and political leaders, they get 4 choices of health care? We don't even get 1. We've got to take our title back. We have to become the boss again. Wake up out there, people. What's next, Alex?
Now it's time for the number 1 story, the story of the year, the story Jesse Ventura fans will want you to comment on. It's the new big brother, the NSA. And we can't talk about the NSA without talking about Edward Snowden, the 29-year-old CIA computer specialist who gave evidence to the press of the NSA's spying on American citizens.
Well, let me say this. Whistleblowers are heroes. So let's say Jesse Ventura were to run and become the president in 2016. Within the first week, I would pardon Edward Snowden, and I would pardon Bradley Manning, both of them. Because my belief is this: a whistleblower is indeed a hero. When someone works in the government and sees the government violating the Constitution, violating the Bill of Rights, and has the courage to do what Snowden did, to risk being killed by the president, because you know now the president can kill you without a trial, without anything. He can order you dead. Again, a violation, I believe, of our Constitution and Bill of Rights, but I suppose they can try to lump it under, quote, national security. Well, my belief is Mr. Snowden's indeed a hero, because he informed us all that we were all being monitored, that we were all, I guess, potential terrorists. That's what our government's labeling all of us. Why else would they be wanting to look at everything we do? Why else would they violate the 4th Amendment to the Bill of Rights? Reasonable search and seizure.
And Governor, I'm going to chime in here with a line that I believe is yours. Wasn't the media created to be the 4th branch of the government?
Exactly. The media's dropped the ball, but then again, let's remember, mainstream United States media is government run today. Because the same corporate big shots that give the money to the politicians also own the mainstream media. And that's your problem right there. Mainstream media is not watchdogging the government as what our forefathers had them designed to do. The mainstream media is supposed to report back to the boss. And the boss is us. But that's what's happening. Mainstream media is reporting to their new boss, the government. The government's not supposed to be the boss of the media. People might say, well, wait a minute, Jesse, you're crazy. How could mainstream media kowtow to the government? I'll tell you how they do it. It's called access. If you question the government as a reporter, the government will then deny you access to anything. You then lose your job because you can't get the access. A reporter who doesn't have access is dead in the water. That's one of the ways that they do it. How's that, Alex? Where are we going now?
Well, as you know, Governor, the case was taken to federal appeals court. Judge Richard Leon deemed the NSA's spying to be, quote, almost Orwellian and likely unconstitutional. But another judge, U.S. District Judge William Pauley, refuted Judge Leon's claim and stated that the NSA represents the government's counterpunch to Al-Qaeda.
Counterpunch to Al-Qaeda? Excuse me. Yeah, didn't we create Al-Qaeda? Isn't that a word that our government created for this mystic enemy that's out there that we're fighting? So in other words, what Judge Pauley's saying is each and every one of us citizens could be Al-Qaeda, including himself. As he include Judge Pauley, this is Jesse Ventura off the grid. Are you affiliated with Al-Qaeda? I need to know, so we don't have to watch you with a drone, Judge.
And Governor, I should add that an editor at the British newspaper The Guardian said that they've only released 1% of Snowden's documents and that the worst is yet to come.
You know, they're saying that only 26 of 58,000 documents have been released and the worst is yet to come? What could be worse? I'm looking forward to see what's worse. Better tune in and catch my State of the Union address at 3 p.m. Eastern sharp and write to me at aura.tv. You can even leave me a voicemail. Follow me on Twitter at Governor J. Ventura, and remember, stay vigilant.